Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The Nigerian Senate says it will screen acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onogen, on Wednesday. Senate President Bukola Saraki announced the decision during today's plenary. Onogen was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria by President Muhammadu Buhari last year. Earlier this month, the National Judicial Council extended his tenure as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. If confirmed, he will be the first Southerner to be named as Chief Justice of the country since 1987. The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's gross domestic product fell by 1.5% in 2016. This decline was less severe than the decline recorded in the previous quarter of minus 2.24%. The Statistics Office says fourth quarter GDP shrank by 1.3%. NBS further stated that this contraction reflects a difficult year for Nigeria, a year which included weaker inflation-induced consumption demand, an increase in pipeline attacks in the Niger Delta region, and a weaker currency. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has urged Nigeria to diversify its economy for stability. Head of OPEC, Mohamed Bakindo, described diversification of the Nigerian economy as music for the future. He says Nigeria will continue to be exempted from the production cuts at OPEC due to the attacks on pipelines in the Niger Delta region.
I think there is need for us to maintain stability, to continue to remain focused and push ahead, because we have a lot to achieve. Despite the heroic efforts of previous governments and the current government to diversify our economy from oil and gas, and by the way, all our competitors within OPEC are also focused on the issue of diversification. I'm just coming from Saudi Arabia, the largest producer, depending solely on oil and gas, but they have also followed suit, came up with a program to diversify their economy within the context of the Vision 2030. Therefore, I would like to use this opportunity to urge all colleagues and industry chieftains to rally round the Honorable Minister in order to march forward. Despite all the reform programs on diversification which we support, and we should support wholly, diversification in its true form remains for now music for the future.
Dr. Bakinde taking over, we also have seen what he's done. And probably what I think, he described this very modestly as one of the most dramatic diplomatic tricks, but I think it's the most fundamental face-changing act and management of OPEC in recent history. Because what he did wasn't just helping us salvage the economies of all member countries. It was the fact that he gave OPEC a new face. OPEC had lost credibility, nobody was listening. Whenever we came for meetings, people just chided us rather than received us. Journalists made a mincemeat out of all of us. They could almost predict we'll never reach resolutions. But today, funny enough, with all the build-ups you have in the US of reserves, nobody's looking at that in terms of price in oil. They're simply looking at what OPEC is doing. So OPEC suddenly has gathered a new momentum that we never had over the last very many years.
Chief of the Army Staff Tukur Buratai says, contrary to reports, illegal bunkering, refinery and oil theft in the Niger Delta region has reduced drastically. Speaking to journalists, Buratai said with the establishment of new army formations in the Niger Delta region, illegal activities were being checkmated by the Nigerian army. According to the army chief, this is heightened activity to stop oil theft and other illegal activities in the Niger Delta region. The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, says women and children making the dangerous journey to Europe are living in hellholes in Libya. UNICEF says the women and children are being beaten, raped and starved in detention facilities in Libya. Among them are many Nigerians. UNICEF's report re-echoes the ordeal of some Nigerians who recently returned from Libya voluntarily. The migrants, numbering over 171, arrived the country last week after an unsuccessful attempt to cross to Europe through Libya. They were the second batch of Nigerians to willingly return from Libya. 41 Nigerians have been rescued from Mali by the federal government. They had been trafficked to the country. Abike Dabiru-Erewa, who is the senior special assistant to the president on diaspora matters, and officials of the National Agency for Protection and Trafficking in Persons (NAPTIP) welcomed the victims back to the country. Dabiru-Erewa said the victims had sent a distress call to the Nigerian government. The girls arrived at Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos aboard a Nigerian Air Force aircraft. The Lagos state government plans to destroy over 4,000 impounded commercial vehicles, motorcycles, popularly called Okada. According to the Nigerian government, the motorcycles will be crushed and recycled in line with the provisions of the State Traffic Law 2012. Speaking to newsmen, Lagos State Commissioner of Police Fatai Owosheni said the recent clampdown on Okada across the state is to address security concerns posed by their operations.
With regards to where commercial motorcycles can operate in the state, and also taking into consideration the increased use to which motorcycles are being employed to commit crimes in the state, which have been a security concern to everyone, to the government and the citizens alike. It is considered necessary for us to rejig our efforts towards ensuring that these laws are complied with. And it is with that rejig effort that we brought everybody that has to do with law enforcement together in order for us to carry out a joint operation, a renewed vigor towards enforcement of that law of restriction of commercial motorcycles to certain areas.
Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo has blamed the state of the nation on bad leadership. The former president says the present generation of leaders lack the focus and commitment to move the nation forward. Obasanjo was speaking at the 38th Kaduna International Trade Fair seminar. In his opinion, leaders in this generation or in his generation did a better job at keeping Nigeria united. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned till March 13th a request to set aside an order asking two oil companies to return the OPL 245 oil block to the Nigerian government. Shell Nigeria Limited and ENI say the process of procuring the forfeiture order is unconstitutional. OPL 245, considered the richest in Africa, is estimated to contain about 9 billion barrels of crude oil. The license was awarded during the regime of a former military dictator, Sani Abacha, under the supervision of the Minister of Petroleum, Dan Etete. It was then sold for $1.3 billion in 2011 to ENI and Shell. The Nigerian army has issued a warning to human rights body Amnesty International to desist from meddling in security issues in the country. The warning comes days after Amnesty International accused the Nigerian government of killing over 150 pro-Biafran protesters. The army has accused the human rights body of supporting terrorist groups to cause internal disorder in the country. The United Nations has raised serious concerns about the newly passed Lagos State Environmental Bill that criminalizes sourcing water from natural sources. The Lagos State House of Assembly passed the Lagos Environment Bill on February 20th. Following the passage of the bill, the UN has criticized the state government for failing to provide adequate access to drinking water for residents in Lagos State. National chairman of the PDP, Ali Modu Sheriff, has threatened to jail his rival, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, over what he describes as contempt of the court. The former Borno State governor filed a case at the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, accusing McCarthy and his associates of flouting the court order which affirmed his post as chairman of the PDP. Now, apart from the former Kaduna State governor, Sheriff has also listed 3 other prominent leaders of the party. They are Senator Ben Obi and Dayo Adeyeye, a former minister of aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make we only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next, we have business news. Fidelia is standing by.
Thank you, Thelma. The Nigerian naira on Tuesday was seen trading at 450 against the US dollar on the black market. This rise comes days after the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, introduced a new forex policy to ease dollar scarcity on the parallel market. The new policy has seen the naira gain against the dollar and other currencies. Now, statistics shows that the naira gained 2.2%, which is more than 4 months high since the introduction of the policy. Crude oil edged higher on Tuesday, underpinned by high compliance with OPEC's production cuts, even as the market remains anchored by rising U.S. production. Brent crude was seen trading at $56.3 a barrel, while U.S. crude oil traded at $54.6 a barrel. Now, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has so far surprised the market by showing record compliance with oil output curbs, which could improve in coming months. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
How correct, Oga?
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go comot the original parts, sell am, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Na because say they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no dey give them electricity.
Ngwanu, before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before una do am, frog jump. One, frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. An award created to recognize the achievements of past African leaders has again been left unclaimed. The Mo Ibrahim Foundation on Tuesday said there was no winner for the 2016 prize for achievement in African political leadership. The $5 million leadership prize was set up by Sudanese telecom magnate Mo Ibrahim. This also makes it the second year running the award, designed to foster regional democracy, has gone unclaimed due to lack of suitable candidates. Since its launch in 2006, the Ibrahim Prize has only been won 4 times. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he believes Barack Obama, who is the former president of the United States, is behind the protests against Republican lawmakers and national security leaks. In his interview with Fox News, the president, however, offered no evidence for these claims. He says he was certain Obama loyalists were behind both these protests and White House leaks. The Nigerian Football Federation President Amaju Pinnick will learn his fate during the Federation's emergency meeting with Sports Minister Solomon Dalong. The Pinnick has come under fire for the past 1 week after publicly revealing that Nigeria would be giving their vote to Madagascar FA President Ahmad Ahmad in the March 16th CAF presidential election. Ahmad is the sole challenger to incumbent CAF President Issa Hayatou, who is seeking an 8th term in office. Officials of FC Barcelona have launched a football academy in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. The academy officially opened in the presence of top Barcelona officials. The school, which has been active since September 2016, is expected to enroll boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 18. It is the first of its kind in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, and would provide opportunities for potential footballers from all over the country. South African Sports Minister Fikile Mabula has hinted that the country may opt out of hosting the 2022 Commonwealth Games. The South African city of Durban was selected as the host city for the Games in 2015 after Canada's Edmonton pulled out of the race. Now, Mbalula has hinted that the country may pull out owing to financial constraints. The Commonwealth Games Federation says it would make a final decision on the matter. That's all we have on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.